Good evening to all of our viewers, and this is Campus Gossip, sub of Ninja Campus Forum, and this is your regular host, Mentor Victor Adeyemi Odelo, and today is a very special day. I want to say hi. I'm very sure of that. That is a very special day because today I have somebody in the studio with me and who will be here live to do justice to the topic and the discourse of the day. And I'm sure that on this day we'll have an amazing ride together. And today the discourse we'll be dissecting is important to everyone. It is an essential topic. It's a topical issue. Yeah, it really concerns the students in the higher institutions of learning and those in the secondary and the primary, and more so even for those of us that are into businesses, that are into corporate worlds and into personal dealings. It is very, very crucial. And the topic is living in accordance with purpose. That simply means that we are not just to live our lives as animals. We must have something that is pushing us, and we must have something that is serving as zeal, that is dragging us, causing a kind of friction, which will in turn lead us to get optimal outputs and effectively and efficiently to be able to be the best of the kind of us in whatever spheres of life that we find ourselves. Like I said, I have somebody in the studio today who will help in doing justice to that, and the person is a geographer. He is a friend. He is a brother, and I'm very very sure that he has um, a lot in store for us today. Yeah, lest I forget to all of our viewers out there and to guests that will be joining us. Uh, like I always refer to her, Dr. Comfort Ashawi, who originally is meant to be a guest today, due to technical issues, will be absent on the show today. But I want to promise every one of us that someday, sometimes very soon, we'll be able to bring her on board and she will be able to share with us all that she has in her own store too. It's just because of the technical issue that I had the team, myself, my production manager in person of mentor Temitope Ombu, had to quickly get in touch with the staff that we have in the studio with me today, who will help in doing justice to the topic. To the guest in the house and the speaker that will be helping in doing justice to the topic today, I welcome you on board, sir.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. It's great being here in the studio today, and I hope that we've been enjoying the exciting packages that have been dished out on the campus forum. And it's great to be here once again. Good evening to you all. And today's topic is one of importance: purpose, purpose, purpose. As we all know that purpose in life is very important. Anyone who is without purpose is deemed a failure. When you don't know what you are doing or where you are going to in life, in whatever endeavor, then such a one is deemed to be a failure. And so that's why specifically we are trying to address students in the campuses in the various colleges of education, polytechnics, monotechnics, universities, and everywhere around the world. We're trying to um, do justice to this discourse. And I want to believe that would reap one or two insights. benefit from the insights that is going to be shared now. Now, to start with,
Thank you very much, the guest in the studio. I'm very sure our viewers out there would like to know your name, your identity, and that has always been a culture years. And I think I'm being partial here. I don't know if it's because of the connection, because normally I'm not supposed to do the brief introduction I did for you. So let's quickly run a kind of brief introduction, and you have to do that by yourself alone. So our audience out there are listening to you. They really want to know whom exactly you are, your discipline and stuff like that, what you do and some other things.
it's okay. Yeah, I'm Stephen Odello by name, and I'm a graduate of Geography and Environmental Management. As such, I'm a practicing geographer and basically involved in thought development and youth development, working with several youth development organizations, and also work with the project Primus Geographical Institute, where we are working to develop several solutions to environmental problems all around. So, and the major reason why we are here today is one of working areas is on youth development, working to try and develop youth and bring them up to the desired standard and where they're supposed to be. Thank
Thank you very much, our guest in the house. You mentioned working with numbers of institutes or groups. Can you just mention names of some of those groups so that at least I think it's in accordance with the topic, the discourse of the day. Let's listen to some of the organizations or associations you belong to and their works. Yeah, it's part of the introduction. I'm
Yeah,
very sure that's going to fascinate our listeners
yeah,
to know today that and to have that assurance and confidence that we have somebody of stuff in the
yeah.
building today.
Thank you. Primarily for the youth development, I would say there are quite a number of them, but the primary agency I do work with is Success Focus Africa Initiative. I take that again, Success Focus Africa Initiative, or SFAI. We work on several aspects of youth development, but in recent times we've been working on developing youths and helping youths, steering youths in the area of responsible leadership and campaigns against examination malpractices, where we go out on school outreaches and trying to orientate students as to. And as a matter of fact, one of the primary things, discourse topics that interest us at Success Focus is on what we are actually discussing today, purpose, helping students to realize their purpose and knowing that everyone has a potential that can actually be realized, and such that you are equipped to be able to realize that which you are actually meant for. Yeah. And then the other one that I mentioned is Primus Geographical Institute. That's my secular, major secular engagement where we do some professional consulting, yes, for environmental based problem, try to create solutions to the various aspects of the environment. So that's it.
Okay, thank you very much to our guests in the studio. Without wasting much time, let's quickly start dissecting the discourse of the day. The topic, like we all know, as we have it on a flyer, is living in accordance with purpose as a student. Now, let's quickly look at the keywords in the topic, in the topical topic. Yeah, I think I want us to highlight purpose. I want us to highlight accordance too, and I want us to highlight living, and I want us to highlight student. Can we quickly, myself and you, can we quickly rub minds together as on those four keywords we've been able to draw out?
Yeah, that's a very FT and deep discourse. Purpose, you know, purpose. You've had several definitions. If there were to be an opportunity to ask our viewers to try to attempt the definition of purpose, I know people would have one thing or the other to say. Yes, that's true. That's true. That's true. We have a lot of definitions of purpose, and but there is one thing, however, that we need to know. Essentially, as we are dealing with students, we are all students in one way or the other. As a matter of fact, whether you're a student in our institution or secondary school, or we are all students of life. So we are all students. So we need to know our purpose. So it's one thing to know your purpose, to be able to truly define your purpose. Then it's another thing to be able to live in accordance. That is to work in an alignment towards the defined purpose that has been realized, right? So now, having said that, personally to me, your purpose will be a matter of questions, very important questions that need to be answered. The issue of the matter of purpose is a question. Questions. Questions of what, how, when, and where. I take that again. The questions of what, how, when, and where. What is my purpose? That's the first question. What am I meant to do? Am I just to follow the bandwagon effect? When I say bandwagon, I mean I want to do this because everybody is doing that. No, that's not purpose. A purposeful person is not the crowd type of person. It's not the person who flows along with the trend in the society, what people are doing. So you are not essentially you are not doing something because everybody is doing it, because the whole society is doing it. No, you are a man of purpose. So that's the place of what is my purpose. So when one is to live in accordance with his purpose, the first thing to be trashed out is the area of what is my purpose. Discovering and then looking out for the purpose. Then the other thing is how how am I going to execute it? Because it is one thing to discover one's purpose. It is one thing to discover one's mandate in life. And let me say this, that purpose could also refer to your mandate. Just like students, we are all students, right? When you go to school, you don't go to school to sell ice cream. You don't go to school to catch fun. You don't go to school to play football. Of course, you might do some of those things there, but that is not the main purpose. Am I communicating? That is not the main purpose. When you go to school, you have a purpose, you have something that you really want to achieve. Now, you know that already. And then you are working in that line through the various activities and extracurricular things that you do, all to the end of achieving your final mandate, the mandate that you have been sanctioned to go do. So, what I was saying is, after you have discovered your purpose, that's the area of what, what is my purpose? Then it's the next thing is how will it be executed? The pathways to executing the the purpose, and that's aligned to the topic today. That's living according to the purpose as students, as young students on the campus spread across campus in the country. And even I'm aware that this platform even has international audience. So what we are talking about is not limited and restricted to the local setting. No, it applies wherever you are in the world. You have to discover your purpose, and that when you have done that, you have answered the what question, and then the how is the steps to execute. Now the other question is when. When I said, um, there is a saying that there's a saying of doing the right thing at the right time and doing the right thing at the wrong time. So essentially, what I was saying, we're talking about timing. Timing in life. There's a time for everything. There's even a scriptural injunction that says, for everything in life, there's a time and season. So when it comes to purpose, there's a timing as to preparing for purpose. That's the first thing. And then after preparing for purpose, then actualizing it, that is making it come into reality. So you need to know your timing to actually execute your purpose. And even before knowing the timing to execute, you need to know the ways, the period of preparation for the execution of the purpose that will be coming up possibly in the future or in the nearest time. And then we also talk about the where. The where. Somebody once said that when you are in your right location, you're going to get your allocation. Can I take that again? When you are in your right location, you're going to get your allocation. Now, you having a gift, you having a capability, you having, name it, any advantage, innate ability. If you are not in the right location, sorry, you might not be able to live out your purpose effectively. So what are we saying? It boils down to we being in the right location. So some places might be good, but they are not right for your purpose. Why? Because places are where you encounter opportunities. Places are where you encounter access. Places are, you can be in some place and you get some ideas that is going to launch your purpose, and then you are going up and going higher. So what am I saying? I'm trying to say that the question of where is also important in purpose. Where you can't just afford to be in the wrong place at the right time, so to say, or you can't afford to be in the right place at the wrong time. So saying essentially, we need to know the where, the place of our training, and the place where our purpose will be executed. And now another thing I need to say is, in discovering our purpose, that is the what question. That was what we talked about initially, discovering it. But many people ask the question, how do I discover my purpose? How? Yes. This is a very important question. And this is a very crucial part of purpose. How do you know your purpose? Well, for some, they find it easy, and for some, they find it difficult. But for me, one of the things I tell people is to know your purpose. There will surely be markers. There will surely be indicators that will point and indicate to you that this is where you are headed to. Now, coming in from my own discipline perspective, places have their maps. So also human beings have their maps. So one of the ways to realizing purpose is discovering and following after your map, your personal life maps. You can be able to know things happening in your life. You can be able to realize purpose by identifying and taking notes of the kind of people you meet with, of the kind of opportunities you come in contact with, the kind of people you are able to access, the kind of places you're able to access. You can get to know your purpose through that. The kind of interest you have, even whilst you are growing as a child, during your childhood years, during your formative years, those are the places where, those are the markers and indicators that can help us discover our purpose. And from there, it's a very good starting point to be able to go on and develop and be able to demystify the question of purpose. So you must be able to pinpoint things that are peculiar to you, or things that are occurring in a cycle, and they are just going on, and then you can notice that these things are going to, it means your attention is being drawn to the fact that this is what you're supposed to be doing, and then you can begin the journey on purpose.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to our guest in the studio. To our guest in the studio, I want to say my very self have been blown away by the presentation today. Nevertheless, okay, let us quickly recognize the presence of one of our sisters in the studio also, Mrs. Ruth Shobande. Yeah, she's a very good sister. We all grew up together too with a speaker in the studio today, with our guest in the studio today. She's saying kudos to the job well done. Live with our guest in the studio today. I want to tell you, basically, I've been blown away by the presentation today. Yeah, we all are students in the school, something that is driving us. And in driving us, we must live sequentially. That's in accordance with what we've called or tagged our own purpose. I want to say this time that to all of our guests that have gotten the link to participate in the program today, and those who are willing to participate in the program, you can just click on the link to join, who will be able to receive your request. Who will be able to receive your request to join the conversation. And I want to tell you, we'll give it a confirmation, and you'll be able to participate on the program, on the show today. Yeah, before we continue, I have one or two questions to ask our guest in the house, and I'm sure he is able and capable of giving valid answers to the question I'm about asking. Yeah, to the guest, uh, for you, you've done a very good job on the discourse today. For you as a person, myself and you, we've had discourses on various subjects of life. And I think on the personal level, yes, you work with students. I know we both do that. We are into that of life where we found ourselves. I think of late, you shared with me your perspective and your input on students in the secondary level of education in Nigeria. And I think even today, some hours, the earlier hours of today, you shared with me valid points as to making students realize their purposes. Now, how easy is that for you, making people understand their purpose and not just living their life like goats and hen and rams that will be killed during Eid Kabir period, or chickens that will be killed during Christmas period, or for cows that will be
Christmas
butchered
period.
at their burial centers. How easy is that? How easy is it for you making people around student of life's institution, people, even older people, making, there are older people that don't even understand what their purpose is, to you as an individual, making people understand their purposes in life?
That's a great question. Specifically, I would say that the first and most important thing as regards to the question is disposition. It's very crucial. Disposition, your disposition to people around. Does not matter whether they are students or whether they are adults, young adults, whatever category, even kids, preteen kids. People, they tend to look at your disposition and observe it this way. How is this person? What's his comportment? What's his disposition towards us? And then with that, some people will be drawn to you. And apart from being drawn, um, they are ready to listen to you. So, like I said earlier on, the first thing is personally for me, it's about disposition. So when you have a winsome disposition to the people around, then naturally they are going to be tuned to you. Just like a radio. If you don't tune to a particular frequency of a station, you can't listen to what it is saying, what they are saying on that on that station. Just like what we are doing now. If you don't tune to this studio right now, you can't listen to us. All right. So when people are tuned to you because of their disposition, definitely they are going to listen to you. So, and it talks about that is defined by your personal outlook and how approachable. So, to help people realize their purpose, and that's one of my passion, lifelong passion. And it's very actually funny. There's this social media platform. It's called, that is now extinct by the way. It's called Google Plus. I remember, I think I created the account in 2012, 2013, within that period. And I remember Google asked me to write my bio on that platform. And I didn't know what to write. So I wrote, I'm a young fellow who likes imparting positivity into young people. No, mind you, then I was not doing anything like that. But that was what I could write on it. And there were several years after I just found myself doing such things. Of course, with some level of discipline and application into that area. So what I'm saying is that for us to be able to work with young students, people are in various secondary school levels, and fortunately, we have the opportunity of working with people even in higher institutions across the country, some outside of the country, and work with them. And like I said, one of my lifelong passion is to help people discover their strengths and or work on them. And probably if it happens to be that they are to work in that line, we help them to develop it and make them see the prowess that they have in that line. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I want you to speak extensively, shortly, extensively on discipline. You mentioned I could highlight discipline. Yes, can you please explain further, but make it very brief, sir?
Thank you very much. Well, on the subject of discipline, it's wide and simplistic, so to say. Um, but in this area of discourse that we are having now, I would say discipline is the being able to apply yourself to attain excellence. And when I say applying yourself, it involves a lot of things. You know, I mean, talking about being able to work beyond your predefined limits. That is probably you think that I can't go beyond this level or I can't do beyond this. So you to be disciplined, you know that you have to go beyond your previous limits. You know, you have to be able to go on extensive research. You have to be able to bring yourself down to do things that you never do before or things that you wouldn't do easily. And then you'll be able to be able to take things up that is way and far beyond your convenience level. Because as humans, many times we tend to have our convenience. We love to have things that are convenience, and we say, I don't want to do this, it's too hard for me, I can't take this, it's not convenient. No, a disciplined person is going to subject himself and put himself under. Of course, it's not going to be easy. Um, there's a saying that goes that uneasy lies the head that wear the crown, something like that. So, if you really want to have it in life, you want to be a person of purpose, purposeful life, and is not disciplined. So you have to be. So when I say discipline, it's even way beyond what I'm just saying here in the studio today. It involves a lot of things, and then but the benchmark is that you have to be able to go beyond your limits and apply yourself to attain and to achieve what needs to be attained.
Okay, thank you very much. Now let's go in this direction. I discipline, discipline. Yes, that's beautiful. Now, are we now going to say? Are we now going to say students that go partying, that go clubbing, are we going to say they are not disciplined enough, or what do you have? What's your view on the partying and you know partying,
Clubbing.
basking, enjoying, and all those stuffs? What do you have to say as regard to that as to discipline and the attainment of purpose as students in the higher institutions? institutions of learning, and even as students in the institutions of life. Because one thing is this, I think during your presentation, discipline, like you mentioned. Sometimes last year in the sphere of business, I had a purpose. I was pursuing a particular purpose, and I ran through it. It took me close to 11 months or so before realizing that. And during the calls, and I think even immediately I bettered the dream, I met somebody. I was discouraged. A lot of people were trying, and you spoke about doing things that will take you out of your convenience, running from your comfort zone. And people are like, no, this kind of thing isn't befitting fellow of your status and stuffs like that. But because I had that drive within me and I knew this is my purpose, I, at least for now, in the business sphere of life, in the business realm, this is what I really wanted for now, at least helping myself. If help is not forthcoming from places I've thought they would be coming from, then I should be like, as a purposeful man, this is what I want. So yeah, running, yes, though it bars my own comfort and convenience, but yet I've just decided that I will get into that. Now, let's go back to clubbing and all those stuffs, and how what's your own view as, attaining purpose amidst the students in tertiary institutions of learning.
Well, that's a very tactical question because one of the things that drive today's modern world is entertainment, entertainment, and fun activities. Yeah, and I would say that I said something early on while I started this presentation. I talked about disposition. But personally, if I would judge on that, based on my own temperament, I would say those things are no way, no way. Now, we all can be the same. Okay. Personally, I'm not an outgoing person. I'm not the person to do social outings and stuffs. But now, the people who do, we can't blame them. They have to do it. Just like the way I can't be forced to go do social things, like go for social functions. It's a personal thing. It's a personal thing actually. So the same way, I can't go on and tell the people who are interested in doing that to stop it. Okay, that's one. Two is anybody who are pursuing that purpose is going to be characterized with discipline. Yes, discipline. And when you're pursuing a purpose, you're pursuing a goal, you can't afford to be distracted by fun, entertainment, and what have you that are the hosts mentioned. So whatever those kind of things are, sometimes some things are even good, but because of your discipline and your foresight into pursuing your purpose, you deem them as distractions to you. And specifically, by the time we'll be ending this presentation, I'm going to share with us 3 keys that address the question that the host just asked. Okay, so there are some things that they are good, of course, they are fine, and but they are deemed distraction to what you are pursuing. So it does not matter how good you are now. So my point is, whatever you are doing as a student, the extra, should I call it extracurricular or social activities that you are engaging in, ensure that you are moderating it. You are allocating your time judiciously to ensure that. And then another thing, like I would say, from my own religious perspective, whenever you are catching fun and doing any of those social activities, ensure that it is not a sinful activity, because that's also very important. Because to an extent, even the government of the day is against sinful activities, so to say. Yes.
Thank you very much to our guest in the house for doing justice perfectly to all of the questions of the day. I want to say we are gradually rounding up and we are moving to the conclusive parts segment of the program. Um, this is campus gossips, and like we always make ourselves to understand, and to viewers and audience out there, locally and internationally, as we are sure we have audiences across the global stage, and Niger campus gossip, campus gossips, whichever way you want to call it. Like I always tell us, is a little bird, a little aircraft flying on the bigger plane of Niger campus forum. And yes, I think guest in the house will be rounding up by giving us the keys he spoke about before picking up the microphone and the camera today. So I think I will be handling the stage to him to quickly give us the final keys. And I'm sure to our prospective viewers and to our prospective listeners out there, I'm sure the keys will be of immense benefit to you all out there.
Yeah, thank you very much. We're coming to the climax of the show, and just like I said, that and having said all we have discussed today, I would just like to leave us with these three keys that are very crucial in the aspects and instance of purpose, and pursuing and living in accordance and according to your predefined purpose. So I'm going to leave us with three keys, and the first one will be to set goals. You set goals, and how do you mean by that? How do you mean by that? I mean, you set goals that are inclined and tailored towards your purpose. Anybody who is purpose driven and purpose oriented should have goals. And when I say goals, I mean not just yearly goals. You set monthly goals, weekly goals, daily goals, even hourly goals, as to be able to accomplish the task that you ought to. All right. So one of the first key to living a purposeful life is to set goals. You have to be a goal setter. Anybody who is a purposeful person is a goal setter, and it doesn't just stop at being a goal setter. He also proceeds to be a goal getter. So when you set goals, you become a goal setter, and then you proceed to become a goal getter. Then the other one is you establish deadlines. Now, your goals shouldn't just be set for the sake of it, for the sake of setting it. Okay, everybody's setting goals. Okay, I want to do that. To know. Apart from setting goals, like second thing I said is you establish deadlines. And when you establish deadlines, that means there's a timeline for you to attain your goals. There's a timeline for you to accomplish your goals, and then it assists you to push yourself beyond the limits that you probably have created for yourself mentally, or the limits that are there for you physically, or in any aspect, probably financially. When you establish deadlines, it makes you to go into your inner depth, into your inner resource, to outrank. Let me use the word outrank, to be able to outrank that challenge that may want to serve as an hindrance, that may want to be like a barrier to you achieving those goals that you have set. And mind you, when you are setting a goal, you know that you are setting goals that is aligned and conformed to your overall purpose. So you don't just set goals for the fun of it. So the first thing I said is you set goals. The number two is you establish deadlines to help you attain and achieve your goals in record time. And the third thing, which is very important, which I pre-mentioned earlier on when the host asked the question about social activities, students' engagement in social activities, creates what we call the gatekeeper system. Yes, did you hear that right? After you set goals, which is the first key, you establish deadlines, but you don't stop there. The other thing you do, amongst other things, is you create what we call the gatekeeper system. Gates, gatekeeper system. And what is that meant for? The gatekeeper system is a personal system that you create for yourself to prevent hindrances and distractions that will might want to distract you from attaining your goals and from achieving your purpose. And let me tell you something, the gatekeeper system will also prevent the wrong people from entering your life. In short, like the gates you have in a house or your door in your houses, they are to prevent people from just entering anyhow. The same thing in your pursuit of purpose and destiny, you got to have a gatekeeper system to keep out distractions, stop them at the door so that they don't enter to distract you. And then you are focused on doing what you want to do and what you have to do. And there's a saying that what is worth doing is worth doing well. So you got to have a gatekeeper system. And now when I say gatekeepers, I'm not going to to prescribe one for you. No, it's a personal thing. Personally for me, and when I let me say this as a note of warning. When you create a gatekeeper system, some people are going to think that you are being extreme. They will think that your own is too much. Yes, but you know what you want to attain and you know what you want to get. So you got to create that gatekeeper system. You got to have it so that people and distractions and circumstances will not circumvent your purpose. So you need to have that gatekeeper system in place effectively. And so when some people see you exercising and executing your gatekeeper system, some people think it's extreme. They think it's too much. And then let me tell you personally, for me, one of my gatekeeper system is sometimes I shut down the digital device sometimes when I need to. Yes, no matter how good the digital device is to me, it's a very great accessory to me. But sometimes it needs to be shut down so that you can attain some things. So it won't be a distraction. So that's why I said that it's actually a personal thing. Defining and creating a gatekeeper system is a personal thing. So I can't tell you to do this as your gatekeeper system. I can't tell you or define a specific measure to you. So it has to be a personal thing that is bespoke and customized to you and for you. And so I believe that when you can do these three things, among some other things, that you can do some, I said something earlier on that attaining purpose is applying yourself, being disciplined. So when you can follow some of these things as a starter and you apply yourself, you do further studies, further research, further reasons, then you're going to actually get on with purpose. And like I said, don't forget the three keys is number one, you got to create set goals. Set goals. Number two, you establish deadlines. And number three, you create the gatekeeper system. And with that, I can assure you that you're going to have a great, purposeful, and impactful life. Thank you for listening.
Wow. Thank you for that amazing conclusion to our guest in the building. I want to say, and I want to stress this part, which is creating a kind of gatekeeper mechanism so that we'll be able to avoid unnecessary entrance, people who are going to serve as sabotage for us actualizing our purposes. I want to say we've come to the end of the program today. And I quickly want to remind us that on Nigeria Campus Forum, which is a platform that helps building students and the Nigerian campuses, tertiary institutions of learnings, the colleges of educations, the monotechnics, the polytechnics, the universities, and students in the institution of life. Uh, we have programs like Breaking Limits, which is being hosted regularly by mentor Felix Cube and mentor Investor. That always comes up on Fridays. Fortnightly is a fortnightly program, and it's I think the time is 4 p.m. And also we also have the program we're listening to presently, which also comes up fortnightly also on Saturdays, and which is the campus gossips, and which I, mentor Victor Adeyemi Odelowo, is the host. And also we have the Serious Matter, which is being hosted by mentor Temitope Adewumi Ombu, which also is a fortnight program also. And I want to tell you all these programs are not just watery program, but they are programs that you need to listen to, you need to watch, you need to recommend to people, which is going to help build their intellect, which is going to help open their eyes to things that they've been probably blind to see around happening amidst them, and even things happening in in the global stage at large. With this, we've come to the end of the program today, and I want to believe that to our guests in the building today, when next we call upon you, you are going to give us a positive answer. You are going to incline to our request to feature you, and I'm very sure we've been blessed. Even personally, for me, being in the studio with you today together, you've blown up my mind, and I'm sure our viewers have been blown away too. And we are very glad to have you with us in the studio today.
Privilege. It's a privilege. It's great to be here. It's great to be here in the studio today, and I want to believe that our viewers um, picked up one thing or the other from the discourse and the narrative we've had today. So I strongly urge you that you go ahead. You don't just stop at listening and hearing, but you go ahead to get something done. Like I said during the discourse, that we shouldn't just be goal setters, but we should be goal getters. So I implore you and I encourage you today that what is that thing that you're set to do? I want to pursue it. Start it up today. Write that proposal today. Begin that project today, and then pursue it purposefully. Then you're going to see success. We'll see you next time again.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Goodbye.
I know it.